In 2003, Sony updated their premium line of audio-video receivers, their ES, or Elevated Standard receivers, for the first time in 5 years. These are Sony's best home theater receivers ever, with impressive features versus what they had in their previous series. Hi, I'm Joe with Gramophone, and today we're going to take a look at the Sony STR-AZ3000 ES, and we'll see if it's the home theater receiver for you. So let's highlight 10 things about this STR-AZ3000 ES that we think are really impressive. The first one is, it's got a 5-year parts and labor warranty on it. That's really impressive for a home theater receiver. Not many have it. And the build quality is excellent. By the way, it's also, I think, a very nice looking receiver. They've got a simple LCD readout here, and the buttons are all very cleanly laid out and nicely concealed by this panel, so you can set things up the way you want it and then conceal the buttons. It's also heavy. This is a 41-pound receiver, and for this price range, that's one of the heaviest you'll see. We'll talk about some of the internals in a moment, but this very durable, heavy chassis actually helps with getting rid of heat, which only adds to the life of your receiver, and it's part of why they put on that 5-year parts and labor warranty. So we mentioned that the build quality is really impressive. Inside here, the power supply and correspondingly then the heat sinks are really beefy, which is a part of why it's so heavy. And that really helps when you have big movie impact scenes or big musical crescendos to be able to supply the current you need so that it sounds really good. Additionally, all the digital circuitry and the wireless module are both isolated very nicely by the way that they laid it out. And that isolation helps keep any digital noise from interfering with the audio quality that's going on in the rest of the receiver. So let's talk about the second thing that impresses us, what's under the hood, especially for the money. This receiver is 120 watts per channel. That's into 8 ohms, 2 channels driven. So it really has plenty of power for most speakers that people are going to consider in this general price range. It also supports both Dolby Atmos and DTSX sound decoding. So you're really going to get that immersive, at the theater kind of sound experience. There's also a nice feature in that both of those formats will support virtual height speakers. So if you're not able to put height speakers either behind or in the ceiling, you can get it virtually created in the receiver. Now, we said plenty of power for most speakers, but remember that if you need more power or to support more channels or both, that you've got the Sony 5000 ES and 7000 ES receivers above this one. We said this is the third from the top of the line of these receivers. You also have twin subwoofer outputs. That's a really nice feature because typically twin subs will give you a more even coverage of bass all throughout the room. So multiple listeners get to experience great bass versus if you only had one sub. A third thing that impresses us about this receiver is you want to be future ready in terms of high resolution formats. You have a total of 6 HDMI connections here, and 4 of them are actually high resolution HDMI or HDMI 2.1. So they will support the highest resolution formats that we have now and that we can see for the immediate future. But you also have 2 more HDMI inputs. So these are going to be for maybe a cable box or an older component. Sony did a great job with making sure that there are no handshake issues between the older components and the newer, more sophisticated HDMI inputs. Good job, Sony. It also supports Dolby Vision high dynamic range, so you get more and better colors and more brightness as well. It'll support HDR10 and IMAX Enhanced, so somewhat like being at an IMAX theater, you'll get a wider aspect ratio if the movie or the TV show that you're watching is IMAX Enhanced. A fourth thing that impresses us, let's talk about something that's really neat that Sony has developed called 360-degree spatial sound mapping. So this Sony exclusive uses DSP, digital signal processing, and what Sony's doing is calculating and calibrating for the distance between your seated listening position, where your speakers are actually located, and the front of the screen, and adjusting you might not have been able to put your speakers exactly where you want them. So this feature is really perfect, let's say for apartment dwellers or somebody that's got an all glass wall over here where you just can't put the speakers where you want them. Sony's 360-degree spatial sound mapping will give you a great experience of really being centered as though the speakers were in their ideal positions. A fifth thing that we find really impressive about this receiver are the multiple streaming options for music. You've got Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, you've got Chromecast and Apple AirPlay. Spotify Connect is very popular. You've got lots of options to be able to enjoy music the way you want. Also, for those folks who use Roon, this is a Roon-ready product. So if you organize your music that way, you'll love this. At Gramophone, we really appreciate your support. If you're enjoying this video, please like and subscribe. Consider leaving us a comment. We'll try to respond quickly. And click that little bell icon so that you're always notified of our upcoming content. So number 6, we're actually pretty impressed with the additional back panel features that you don't always get on receivers at this price range. Starting off, of course, the ability to connect digitally some of your older components. We love seeing a 12-volt trigger to where you can actually turn on another component every time the receiver turns on. You've got IR inputs if you want to run a IR control system, and RS-232 for bigger control systems. A nice feature that Sony includes also is the ability to run a Zone 2 or Zone 3. So if you want to drive, let's say, a kitchen and a bedroom zone, you can do that from the back panel. Number 7 in the list of things that impresses us about the 3000 ES and the rest of these receivers, it's got the Works with Sonos badge. So Sony has partnered with Sonos to make it easy for you to get music all around your house. Just get a Sonos port, connect that with the system, and then the 3000 ES will look for Sonos devices that are around your home and on your Wi-Fi network. So the benefit of Works with Sonos is that if you're a Sonos user, it makes it really easy to add music and use it because you can use the Sonos app to control that particular zone of music, including volume. So that makes life really simple. And the 3000 ES and the other Sony receivers will support up to 32 zones of Sonos sound. So continuing to add on to your Wi-Fi music system around the house is as easy as just adding more Sonos speakers. Number 8 in the list of things that's impressed us, Sony is giving you options if you've got nowhere to run wires for side speakers or subwoofers. Let's face it, especially apartment dwellers are often in that kind of situation. Well, you've got wireless options from Sony, 2 different wireless speaker options for side or rear, and 2 different wireless subwoofer options. So if running wires is going to be a challenge for you, Sony's got you covered. Number 9, these are both user-friendly and custom integrator-friendly. We think you'll find the new line of Sony ES receivers to be very easy to custom calibrate to your home. You've got the LCD readout up here, and you can see a host of features right down here that were previously hidden by the little door that we took off. Of course, once you've customized this receiver to your home the way you like it, you can just put the door back on and you probably won't need to take it off again. Additionally though, with the RS-232 port back here, we find as an integrator here at Gramophone that these receivers are very easy for us to integrate into any of today's most popular control systems. And number 10, did we say that this is going to be easy for you to calibrate? Sony has actually developed a new technology called Digital Cinema Auto-calibration 9, which measures and calibrates for the distance and angle and sound pressure level and even the frequency response of each of your speakers to really optimize that truly immersive, you're sitting in the movie experience. Sony exclusive. To sum up, at Gramophone, we're really impressed with this current line of Sony receivers. Not only are they awesome with music, sounding really, really good, but as we've mentioned, Sony has developed a number of really cool technologies to give you a movie experience that's about as immersive as you can get. Now the 3000 ES retails as of February 2023 for $1699. But again, there are options. You've got the 1000, the 5000, and the 7000. So if this isn't exactly right for you, Sony probably has a product that is. And we love the build quality and the 5-year parts and labor warranty that Sony has put on as well. To purchase your Sony STR-AZ3000 ES, visit Sky by Gramophone, where you get a secure checkout with fast and free shipping straight to your door. And we'd love to meet with you. If you can, come to Maryland and visit us. We have stores in Timonium, Columbia, and Gaithersburg. If you visit the Timonium store, make sure you come over and check out the Experience Center, where you will see some amazing products displayed in an absolutely beautiful setting. And don't forget to stop up in Hunt Valley and visit our Kitchen Design Center. They do great work. Thank you for watching this video. We look forward to seeing you soon.